What
to
is
see you.
the biggest adjustment that you've had to make in your personal life, going from a, a candidate to actually being in office? Is it the fact that, you got to dress a certain way, you got to do this every day? Like I told you, I would love that we could just be having this conversation in pajamas.
We can do that next time, Ryan. Biggest adjustment. So Alicia and I welcomed a baby girl into our lives about 18 months ago.
Congratulations.
And the number one challenge for me at a personal level is just making sure that I create the space to be present in her life. I'm back and forth between Georgia and Washington. So I basically told my team, for example, on the weekends, if I left them to their devices, my office staff, I would be going, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Right.
Saturday, Sunday. I basically told them right now at this point in our lives, you get one event per weekend. The rest of that time I'm protecting for family because that is ultimately what is most important. And I know I'll never get these early years back with our daughter. So I think that is, at a personal level, since you asked, the most important kind of challenge and balance that I'm working on striking.
Yeah, I have two daughters and one son, ages 25, 21, and 19. I call it a high school locker combination. It's just like right, left, right to the numbers. But for you, you're about to go into those terrible twos at 18 months, and that's a big challenge. How has fatherhood changed your life?
Profoundly. I mean, in much more profound a way than getting elected did.
Really?
In terms of clarifying my priorities, as long as our baby is healthy,
Right.
then everything is okay. I mean, I think you can spend a lot of time thinking about career, thinking about the daily responsibilities, which are great in this office.
Right.
But it's crucial to not lose sight of family. And I actually, when I got to the Senate, I had I'm a little young for the Senate.
Right.
I mean, the average senator is about 30 years my senior. I had a very senior colleague sit me down and he told me about his regrets. And he said, John, I don't remember a single ribbon cutting, fish fry, official meeting that I missed. But he remembered every piano recital, school play, and birthday party that he missed. And that's not a mistake I want to make.
Yeah, I remember my career changes, be it the morning show or the afternoon show, kind of parallel what was going on in my kids' lives. So when I was working in the afternoons, I got a chance to walk them to the bus stop or put them on the bus. When I was working in the mornings, I got a chance to take them off the bus. It was one of those things where I just felt like there was divine intervention in what was important. Like you said, people always remember the things that, being in the audience is one of those things that we'll probably talk about some years down the line when your child is in the audience for the recital and the play and they look out and they scan the room and dad's there, all is well. And those are the things that are going to be the most important. So I'm glad that you recognize that early on.
And it's not just about, one's own gratification as a parent, right? It's about the impact on the development of your child. And so I want to be as present as I can. And so, this all started because you sort of said, what's the biggest adjustment?
Right.
The biggest adjustment hasn't been to getting elected. The biggest adjustment has been to having a child and ensuring that I'm putting family first.
Senator Jon Ossoff is here, right here on Ryan Cameron Uncensored. And we know we got stuff to talk about that kind of is on your agenda. But I told you, like in the hallway, I when I saw the email, it said, Senator Ossoff is glad to be able to have a chat and catch up. And that's kind of what we wanted to do because I think in the efforts of campaigning, this is what I want to talk about. This is what I want to do. But also that you're human just like the rest of us, and you have challenges. I'm sure that you've had all kinds of discussions when the baby is up and making some noise and you got an appointment or an 8 o'clock interview. Especially when you're at home.
Well, yeah, I'm busy, but my wife for the last 4 years has been in her medical residency, right? Mm-hmm. So, and folks know medical residents are the junior doctors who are basically completing their training, but they are MDs and they're providing most of the frontline care in hospitals and clinics across the country. And they're working, 80 plus hours every week. Mm-hmm. Right now she's on 5 straight weeks of night shifts. It's not the kind of thing where she can be 2 minutes late, right?
Right.
Like there are lives on the line for physicians and nurses. Medical personnel in this country work so hard. And so, in terms of what else has been happening, in our home, in our personal life, being maximally supportive of her as she works through her career and she saves lives every day is something that I'm always attentive to.
Post-COVID, we're seeing there's some shortages of nurses. There's some shortages of a lot of people in the medical profession. What is it that you think is on your agenda to kind of address that? We're seeing, they call it quiet quitting, but also with people who are in those professions, like your wife, it's become a time where they were totally they're the heroes. They're our first responders there was some kind of a backlash for some of the stuff that they were having to endure.
Look, I think the number one question is, how do folks get skills, right? Because there is so much demand for skilled people to take on these roles, which pay well, whether it's in healthcare or in other fields. But there's a disconnect where people, high school students, young people, or folks midlife who want to shift careers don't have access to the kind of training, the kind of vocational training, the skills training in order to get the qualifications to get those jobs that pay well, that have benefits, what you say for retirement. So I'm, at Albany Tech, I'm helping to expand their healthcare workforce training program, doing the same thing at Dalton State. And at vocational schools, community colleges across the state, trying to give people more opportunities to get skilled and get those good-paying jobs.
When we have people on the show, and it doesn't matter who it is, it's a celebrity or somebody in office, we always want to give them a chance to kind of talk about their team. Because even in this room, there are people that they have specific jobs, but they're in the background. They may have political aspirations, they may not. But talk about your team, your support team, because I'm sure some people may have came on, hey, Senator Ossoff, this person is great. Maybe they didn't work out. Maybe you had to make some changes. How important is it for your team, your support staff, in your day-to-day?
I wouldn't be able to do anything without my staff. And the truth of the matter is that most of the daily work of a U.S. senator is not about whatever's leading the news, whatever's on CNN or on the front page of the papers.
Right.
It's providing constituent service to Georgians. And a lot of folks don't know that these resources are available in our office. Every single day, we are helping Georgians to navigate difficulty with the IRS, difficulty with Medicare and Social Security, veterans benefits that they're owed but not getting, a passport renewal that they need rushed because they have upcoming travel. All of that, my staff, with great professionalism and responsiveness and excellence, is helping constituents to deal with those things that can impact a family's fundamental finances and health. So I encourage folks to reach out. It's ossoff.senate.gov. We'll get back to you within 72 hours and try to help you solve your problem. I don't guarantee results, but I do guarantee effort.
Yeah, I'm going to circle back with you offline about that because I'm a huge Bahamas, huge Costa Rica person. And then I just looked at my Delta account and it was like, hey, your passport expired in March. And I was like, what? So
we help a lot of folks with quick passport renewals and also, folks who maybe face something like eviction.
Yeah.
If they don't get a tax refund that they're owed or have other crucial, time-sensitive, they need that appointment at the VA hospital and they need it now. So reach out to my office. We're here to help you.
Let's talk about some of the things that you've been able to accomplish when it comes to business, especially business for minorities. We were talking a little bit offline about what's going on in the Auburn area. Can you talk about that?
So as your audience knows well, Sweet Auburn Historic District, Civil Rights District, the King Center, Ebenezer Baptist Church, a long history of black entrepreneurs and black small business people, at times greatly prospering, at times struggling,
right,
along Auburn Avenue. Right now what we have going on in the city is a huge infusion of wealth and capital. And so when we talk about the issues surrounding gentrification, the question for legacy business owners and legacy real estate owners in predominantly black parts of the city is, will they be displaced by all this influx of wealth, or will they be able to ride the wave and take advantage of it? So I've appropriated these funds to a great organization called Sweet Auburn Works there on Auburn Avenue, whose purpose is to equip the predominantly black real estate owners and small business people to prosper as a result of the investment that is coming to the city, rather than to be driven out of their buildings or out of those markets and out of those historic neighborhoods by it.